Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today, I don't know if you can tell, my hair is looking a hot mess. And so I just want to walk through like how I do my hair, what my hair growth, what I'm using for hair growth right now. And basically just how I take care of my hair. And don't let the crumpled upness fool you. It is pretty long. I don't know, I've been growing it out for a little bit. I kind of and then right now I've been really big on braid outs. I started doing wash and goes a while ago, and then my hair would just be a little like, it's cute the first couple of days, and then when you're sweating and stuff, it starts getting real tight in the scalp, and it's just like, it's a hot mess. I'm trying to lay off puffs too because it's just a lot of like pulling, you know. So I switched to braid outs recently, so I'll show you guys what that routine is looking like too. And then yeah, okay, let's get started. So what I usually do first is separate my hair like this, and then I like to go in and like, you're never supposed to brush or comb your hair while it's dry, but I like to go through like this and just pull out any hairs that are kind of like loose, because you know, like coily hair, it doesn't shed, like it sheds just like everyone else's hair does, but it's just that it gets wrapped around itself, so it doesn't usually just like come out very easily. So in order to protect like the drains from getting too clogged, I like to try and take out as much hair as possible. And I'm not, well, I mean, I'm doing a little bit of pulling, it's not anything too crazy, but just like a quick little, just to go through. And as you can see, there's like already some pieces that were loose, but yeah, just very gently, just going through, taking out whatever's already loose. If you feel like there's any parts that are getting kind of knotted or tangled or whatever, like you can try to gently take out the knots, but if it's not budging, I think it's best to just like wet your hair, wait until it has like the slip of the shampoo, and then you can try and take it out from there. Yeah, but if that doesn't work, don't just like try to rip it out, you know. I feel like sometimes we lack patience and we're just like, you know, so just like, I don't know, use the shampoo and the conditioner and try to like just help it slip out. And if that doesn't work, just use a scissor. It's usually when you pull your hair like that, you'll create split ends. And to be honest, I like to do stuff like this when I'm like watching TV. Sometimes I'll do it the day before I even wash my hair. You know what? I think this method probably also helps with helping your hair to not get too tangled. Because I realized when I was doing wash and goes, sometimes my hair would get really tangled. Even after I would like wash it and put conditioner in it, it was just like so coiled around itself. But I feel like this helps to like open up the hair. This is how much hair was shed. It's not too bad, and that would have been in the drain. All right, so I'm gonna shampoo my hair and I'll be back with conditioner. Okay, here I am with the conditioner. I'm working that through my edges and my ends. Of course, you got to get on the inside of the hair too, make sure everything is covered. And then I just put it in a bun and leave it usually for about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how busy I am. Usually, I like to use a plastic cap so that the heat can circulate from my head. But if not, I just put it in a bun and that's it. And so here I am combing through the conditioner, which is what I also like to do so that way I can protect the drains, make sure that my hair has a lot of slip, and that I'm working the product through nice and evenly. So after I finish combing through my entire head, I go ahead and wash that out, and then you'll see that in the next clip. So when I'm done, I use my towel very briefly. I don't want to soak up too much of the water because that is what is going to help the product soak into my hair a lot better. And it'll also help with detangling. I like to use the Indian hemp grease in my scalp. I feel like it usually helps me retain moisture for up to about a week for the most part. And as you can see, I use a generous amount. I love to focus on the health of my scalp because when your scalp is healthy, your hair is also healthy. So, in small sections, I like to add in a healthy amount of the Indian hemp grease. And then I go ahead and massage that in the sections to make sure that if I missed any spots, it's taken care of. And I do that all over my entire head. Cannot miss a single spot. Then after that, I go in with my hair cream, which is the Cream of Nature Pure Honey right now. To be honest, I am not very faithful to any hair product. I like to jump around between Shea Moisture, Cream of Nature, Miel is also really good, and Maui Moisture. I'd say those are the ones that are in my constant rotation. Um, and it also depends on like what different stores have because sometimes certain things are sold out and I just move on to the next thing, you know? They all really work well for my curls. It gets the job done. As you can see, once again, I like to use a lot of product. I'm not stingy with it. Like, I care so much about the health of my hair, so I make sure that it is moisturized from scalp to ends. And your ends are the oldest part of your hair, so you need to make sure that it's getting a lot of products because it usually is drier, especially because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but your scalp naturally produces oil. And the longer your hair is, the harder it is for that oil to get to your ends, especially if your hair is curly. So you have to make sure that you're doing your best to keep it moisturized. So first I like to go in with a wide tooth comb and I smooth the product through the hair and then I go ahead and braid that section. That'll be like a nice thick section. I don't make my braids too big or too small for the most part. So after I get to the bottom of the braid, I like to leave a pretty good amount of hair at the bottom. As you can see, I use my Denman brush to clump up my curls and then I just finger coil the entire section. So you can see it's like separate curls. If you want, you can leave it like that, but I like for my ends to be a bit more unified in the curl, in the coil. So I just like to use my finger and then of course I go in and I smooth the products again because as you can see there is a lot of excess on there. Yeah. So now I'm going in, I'm doing the same steps all throughout my head. As you can see, there's a lot of shrinkage. The shrinkage is crazy. And then it's my pootie tang braid. So if you want, sometimes before I started using the Indian hemp grease, I use different kinds of oils in my scalp. So if you want to do that instead, that also works. I just feel like the grease works, it like stays in your head a lot longer than the oil does, especially now that we're in winter. I feel like it's time to switch over to products that are a lot heavier to make sure your hair stays moisturized, especially longer. So again, I'm going in with a lot of products. I really, really like to smooth in those products as much as possible. Just getting it nice and slick. And then again, once you're done, you go in for the braid. Sometimes I even put oil on top of the braid itself just to really seal in that moisture. You can also do the same thing with the grease, but I'm just not doing it here. I feel like what I've done is more than enough to keep the moisture in. If you want, instead of doing a finger coil like I do with my hair, you could also just use a small curler instead, whether it be like if you do fatter braids and then just use like the big curlers or the smaller ones, of course, with the smaller braids. So that way you can have smaller coils. There I am tired. I mean, it makes sense to be tired if it's a wash day. If you're not tired, you're probably not doing it right. So once I get to the front of my head, I like to use a very, very soft bristle brush because we got to maintain the edges just to go in and make sure that it's moisturized. And I also don't like to do baby hairs, so that's me. That's my way of getting my hair to lay down for the most part. And then once I put a scarf on, I don't usually need to touch my edges or anything for a while. I go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, making sure that it is nice and moisturized, working the product in and braiding once again. So most wash days I do the front differently. Sometimes I just do like a little blunt bang situation. Right now it's a little too long for that. So I'm going for a side part, and so I'm just gonna once again braid my hair, this time a little bit to the side, smoothing it down. And I think I'll actually do the method a little differently the next wash day. You guys will see later on at the end why. I actually really, really like the blunt bang look just because I love pretending like I'm Toad from Mario. I just love the whole little mushroom look. I feel like it fits my face. But if you guys want, I feel like you could probably even just do half of the braid and then just coil the ends from there instead, which actually I think I might try next time. So let me know if you guys want to see me do it that way instead, because I actually just cut bangs after this video. So yeah, let me know if you want to see how that looks in the comments below. Okay, so this is the final braid, the final coil, and usually I'll leave my hair like this. If it's supposed to rain the next day, I'm not taking out my braids, it's just gonna like mess up my hair. So I'll leave it in the braids, basically a protective style. Sometimes I'll put on a headscarf. I might do like a little half up, half down with my braids, maybe put it in a bun or a ponytail, just like add a style to it. I also use a regular headscarf just to keep everything laid. I don't use a bonnet because with the extra room, of course, it might create frizz. I also use a cute little clip like that just so that I can keep it out of my face. Usually hair products create a lot of acne. That's the Indian hemp grease that I use. It's Dax. And that is the deep mask treatment that I use, the deep conditioner. And then I use the Maui shampoo. I told you guys I'm like really all over the place with these products. If it works, I use it. Cream of Nature. And then I also use my Denman brush, a wide tooth comb, of course. And that's my soft bristle brush. I like to use the oil whenever I need it, whenever I feel like the grease isn't holding up. And that is the rose water and glycerin that I like to spray on my hair sometimes just to give it more moisture and a nice shine. Here's the final result. I actually took my hair out a few days after I put the braids in. So it was approaching about a week at this point, I think. As you can see, still bouncy, still cute, still moisturized. And then in this next clip, it was actually 2 weeks at this point. And this was me styling it to go out. And that's my routine. Thanks for watching.